It's April 18th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have pilots running out of fuel over enemy land, a mountain's deadliest day, and a secret mission timed down to the exact second. Let's begin. On April 18th, 1942, 16 American bombers lifted off from a ship in the middle of the Pacific, heading towards a country they were never meant to return from. It was called the Doolittle raid. The plan had already begun to unravel. Spotted too early, they launched hundreds of miles farther from safety than intended. Every man on board understood the truth, that this was a one-way mission. They struck their targets in Tokyo, Yokohama, and Nagoya, then turned west towards China, but the distance was too great. Fuel gauge dropped, wind pushed against them, and night fell. There was no runways, no signals, only mountains, storms, and silence. One by one, the bombers began to fall. Engines coughed, and crews made choice: stay with the plane as they crashed, or jump into the unknown. 15 aircraft vanished into the night. Some smashed into flooded fields, others abandoned midair as men parachuted blindly into darkness. One crew drifted into the Soviet Union, where they would be detained. Others scattered across occupied China. Some rescued, some captured, and a few never made it out alive. They completed their mission, but survival was never guaranteed. It was just the next battle. On April 18, 2014, the highest mountain on Earth turned silent when, without warning, it moved. It was early morning on Mount Everest, and the sky was clear. The air was thin, and a line of Sherpas moved carefully through the Khumbu icefall, a place climbers already feared. They called the one section the popcorn field, where the ice shifted and cracked beneath their feet. Above them, hidden in stillness, was a massive wall of ice. A serac, taller than a building, weighing thousands of tons, hung from the mountain's west shoulder. It had always been unstable, and everyone knew it. At 6:45 a.m., the ice broke. The entire mass collapsed downward, exploding into the icefall below. The sound echoed through the mountain like thunder, trapped in stone. In seconds, the Sherpas were swallowed. Some had been delayed, carrying heavy loads, while others were caught at the bottleneck, forced to wait in the most dangerous place en route. They had done everything right, and it was still not enough. When the avalanche settled, 16 were gone. Some were recovered, and some remained buried under the ice, where the mountain chose to keep them. But the days that followed, the silence returned, but something had shifted. The people who had made Everest possible refused to climb, and for the first time of years, the mountain stood nearly empty. The Sherpas weren't chasing glory, they were making it possible for others, and paid the highest price. On April 18, 1943, a man boarded a plane, believing his journey was routine. But somewhere, far away, others already knew exactly where he would be and exactly when he would die. They called it Operation Vengeance. Days earlier, American codebreakers had intercepted a message. Not just any message, but a schedule. Every detail was there: departure times, locations, and even the minute the plane would arrive. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the architect behind Pearl Harbor, was flying a predictable route between the Solomon Islands. At dawn, the group of American fighters lifted into the air, flying low, so low they nearly touched the ocean. They couldn't risk being seen, and every second mattered. Hundreds of miles later, at precisely the calculated moment, shapes appeared in the sky ahead. The timing was exact, almost impossibly exact. Yamamoto's plane flew straight into them. Engines roared, and the sky erupted. Within moments, his aircraft was struck and spiraled downward, disappearing into the dense jungle below. And when it was found the next day, the wreckage was silent, and the mission had worked. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.